Welcome to this presentation on solving simple inequalities by multiplying and dividing. If you did the previous video where we did it by addition and subtraction, kind of the same thing, one step, except for instead of adding or subtracting, we're going to solve these by either multiplication or division. And this works just like solving equations. So like say if you have a negative 5x was equal to 15, your inverse operation of multiplication is division, so we're going to divide both sides by a negative 5, and you got x is equal to negative 3. The only difference, and you're going to want to write this down, is when you multiply or divide both sides. That's the key here, both sides. That's going to come into play later when we do multi-step equations. Both sides of the inequality by a negative, you flip the sign. So just remember, when you multiply both sides of the inequality or divide both sides of the inequality by a negative sign, you flip the inequality. I'm just going to write that for inequality. Right, if you're taking notes, so just remember, if you're multiplying both sides of your inequality by a negative, or if you divide both sides by a negative, you flip your inequality, like we have here, negative 5n less than or equal to 15. Look at this, we're dividing this side by a negative 5. We're dividing this side by a negative 5, so you got n is greater than or equal to negative 3. And we're going to graph it. Remember, close dot. If you hadn't memorized it by now, you need to memorize it. And we know n is going to be bigger than negative 3, right? And here's a trick. If you're not sure which way to shade, just put in a number that makes this true. Well, we know 0 is bigger than negative 3. You know 1 is bigger than negative 3, right? So, you got a 0 here, you got your 1. Heck, even at negative 1, 2. So we're going to shade in on this side, right? There we go. So let's look at another example. Let's look at number 7 here. We got n divided by 12 is greater than or equal to 2, right? And this is why it's important to be able to read algebra problems, because once you think to yourself n divided by 12, you immediately know your inverse operation of division is multiplication. So we're going to multiply this problem to get our answer, and we're going to multiply both sides by 12. So you got n divided by 12, and we know that is going to be bigger than 2, right? Well, these cancel out. Well, they actually become 1, but we're going to say they cancel out. N is greater than or equal to 24. It's closed dot, right? If you said closed dot, you're absolutely right, because it's an equal sign. That means closed dot. Now, once again, if you're not sure, just put, which side to shade. What I do, plug in some numbers to make it true. Well, here's my 25. That made it true. 26 makes it true, right? 20 doesn't make it true, right? Yeah, because 20 is not bigger than 24. So once you figure out which side to shade, just shade it. And let's see, we've got time for maybe one more example. Let's do 11. 20x is greater than negative 360. So 20 times x, what we know about x is going to be, it's going to be bigger than this negative 360, right? So let's divide both sides by 20. And so these become 1. So we got x is going to be bigger than, those kind of go away, right? 36 divided by 2 is 18. That's a negative 18. Notice we did not flip because we did not divide or multiply both sides by a negative. Sometimes students will see this negative 360 and they want to flip the sign. Don't flip the sign. The only time you flip your sign or reverse it is when you multiply or divide both sides by a negative. Here, only one side is being divided by a negative. So let's figure out so it's going to be an open dot. Open dot. Found my 18. So which side am I going to shade? Well, let's make some numbers to make that true. Is negative 20 bigger? So you got a negative 20. But that's not larger than 18, so I'm not going to shade that side. What about negative 17? Is that bigger than negative 18? Yes, because negative 17 is closer to 0. So that makes it true. So let's shade in this side over here, and that's it. And that's how you solve inequalities by multiplying or dividing. There's a worksheet on the website. You've got about 20 practice problems. If you're on YouTube, if you just click on the link, it'll take you to the worksheet. And remember, the key to getting good at math is just practice. Enjoy.